Katamari. I love Katamari. Obviously, I have earlier this year, when this game actually got announced, I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna finish all the Katamari games because I love Katamari. I love just like everybody else. I love the first two, and I hadn't played the originals, or sorry, I hadn't played the ones that followed. Like Beautiful Katamari and Me and My Katamari and Touch My Katamari and all that type of stuff. I still haven't played Touch My Katamari. I haven't played any of the mobile games, and I don't intend to. I don't have a PS Vita, and emulating PS Vita is annoying. And I also just the game doesn't do anything new, so I didn't really feel the need to, other than the art style and weird cutscenes, which I can easily go look up online. Wasn't really anything drawing me to it, and obviously the mobile games. I'm not paying for Apple Arcade and stuff like that. Hopefully those get ported though. That'd be great. But yes, I did play through all of the Katamari games, all of the main ones, leading up to this game because I'm excited. I want Katamari to be successful, so I bought this game twice. I have it on Switch or slash Switch 2, and I have it on PS5. I beat it on PS5. I got it physically, and I have been sort of just picking it up, and playing it here and there on the Switch. So I'll touch on some of the Switch stuff, like performance, which is really the only consideration. But I love this game. I think I'm gonna have a prediction here. I think this is better than the first game, and I think there's a good chance the consensus is that this is the best Katamari game. In a couple years, once this game really sits in with people, I could see that definitely happening. This game has the most varied environments, most levels, I think for sure, right? Like there are so many levels in this game. It took me like 18 hours to beat this game. Now I was going for everything, which I still haven't done. Near the end, I was like, all right, I just want to reach credits. I have other games I want to move on to. I have gone back since, and I'm currently just here and there, getting all the crowns in a level I missed or something, or trying to find all the cousins or something like that. Because there are some cousins that are fucking really hidden. But yeah, there's just so much content in this game, and it's varied, and specifically, it's new. Now, there were a lot of reviews when this game, when the embargo lifted. I think this game is around like a 70 or something, which is don't even get me started. This is one of those games that I feel like reviewers don't really understand. I'm not like a super anti-game journalist guy. I know a lot of people are. I'm not. But this is definitely one of those games where if you're not like a fan of Katamari and you sit down and play this game, it's gonna be weird. And I don't necessarily trust, the average game journalist to accurately rate this game. Because a lot of them were saying like well, it sort of just does the same thing over and over again and all this type of stuff. And like, yeah, man, it's Katamari. You're rolling shit up. That's what it's going to be on a base level. Not to say that that isn't valid criticism, because, like I said about Touch My Katamari, there are games in the series that don't really do anything new. Me and My Katamari, I had a great time with it. I thought playing it on original hardware on the PSP was a novelty and cool, but it doesn't really do anything new, and it's just the same level over and over and over again. Beautiful Katamari, while I probably like the game more than most people, is just Katamari. Katamari Forever, I was very fatigued at that point. Obviously, the art style is cool, and it is sort of like this anniversary title, but again, doesn't really do anything new. But this game, compared to those games, does the most new we've seen. The whole time travel mechanic allows there to be such interesting environments. Like there's so many worlds here, and because obviously there's the main levels, which is just get a big ball, right? But then there's also the like challenge levels or whatever you want to call it, like the side quests, which usually I don't really love. Like in the first game, avoid all the cows or whatever. Like levels like that are funny, but also just annoying, and I don't want to actually play them. But in this game, you're gonna see it here in a second. Like it's collect, obviously get bigger, but also while you're doing that, collect the fair, like what the pharaoh wants you to collect, search stuff out, things like that are more seamless and less like ignore anything that has a bear shape, which actually there are some levels like that in this game. But I just don't like those levels, and I'm glad that pretty much all the side stuff minus a few things here and there, are awesome. And that's all to say. I went on a huge tangent and I forgot where I was going. This game has so much content and it has so much varied content compared to Katamari. But it is still Katamari, which is rolling up a ball. And I think that's fine. I was so shocked when I saw the reviews on this game. Not that they were like horrible, but the consensus being that this does nothing new is just wrong if you know anything about Katamari. And it also sort of misunderstands the whole series. Like, this is sort of the point. And it's not like we've had a billion Katamari games. You know, we've had a good amount, but it's not like these games are coming out every year. This is the newest one in almost a decade. I think longer than that, right? When did Touch My Katamari come out? I'm not counting the mobile game. Like, when did Touch My Katamari come out? And if you don't want to count that game, when the fuck did Katamari Forever come out? And if you don't want to count that game because it is just an anniversary game, when did Beautiful Katamari come out? Like 2006 or 7? It's been a long time since we've had fresh, new Katamari levels. And this game delivers on that, and I could not be happier. This is one of my game of the years. Now, obviously, that's just because I like Katamari. I don't think most people will play this and think it's their game of the years, but this is all a very long rant to say. This game lives up to everything I wanted it to be. I was fatigued after playing all the Katamari games. Obviously, I still love the franchise, but finishing Forever was sort of like, all right, I'm good. I've had my fill. I even actually, after that, went back and played most of the first game and We Love Katamari. And I just love this franchise. And I really hope this game sells well enough to justify the franchise to move forward. What I would like to see is remasters of Beautiful and Forever. Those aren't the best games ever. A lot of people find them pretty repetitive. I think the consensus is that people like Forever more than Beautiful, even though I'm the rare exception. I like Beautiful more, just because it's more original. I just want those games to be out more. I want those games to be available. Like, I had to play Beautiful through Xbox Series X, and if I didn't have that, I would have had to play it on either Xenia, which barely works at the time. I love Xenia, but PS3 and Xbox 360 emulation aren't quite there yet. Or would have had to straight up plug in my 360 and play it. I actually do have it physically. I did end up getting all the games physically. And then obviously Forever, I ended up emulating Katamari Forever, but like the text was weird and there were some graphical glitches because, like I said, PS3 emulation and stuff like that just isn't quite there yet. I want these games to be more available. And then I would love to see another Katamari game that expands on this formula, because the current Katamari formula that we see in this game is awesome. And it's great. This is the true follow-up to We Love Katamari. To me, this is Katamari 4. I think it goes, Katamari Damacy is Katamari 1, We Love is 2, Beautiful is 4, and then I don't count Forever because it's all just reused and Anniversary. I don't really count Touch My Katamari. I'm sorry. I don't really count Me and My Beautiful Katamari. Those are sort of side games to me. This is like the true follow-up, and I love it. I feel like I'm going on so many different tangents here, but this game is good, man. This game is fucking good. And going back to the reviews, like, there were people that, like, what I was saying earlier about people just not understanding Katamari. You see that with how the clearest example of this is when the reviewers mention the king, because yes, he's annoying, but that's kind of the point, and that doesn't entirely excuse how maybe sometimes he talks a little too much, which is what a lot of people were saying. That's kind of the whole point. He's an asshole. He's in your face. He never appreciates anything you do, except in this game. He's pretty forgiving in this game, weirdly. But like right now, half of this gameplay is probably going to be him fucking talking over you. But like, you can see through it, and half the time I zone it out and don't even really realize, because I'm not even really looking in that area of the screen to begin with. And I thought a lot of those criticisms just didn't really make a whole lot of sense, and were probably for people who just don't really understand Katamari. Now, I'm sure there are people that still want more from Katamari, but I don't know what that would look like. I haven't really watched a whole lot of reviews or a whole lot of retrospectives or anything like that, so I'm sure people have a lot of good ideas, but at least for me and what I see from this game, I think we're headed in a great direction. Now, going back really quick on the content, I love the cousins. I believe it's every cousin is in this game, I think. I sort of forget what is new and what isn't, but I haven't even collected all of them yet. There are so many. There's like 50 or maybe even more than that. The one I've been playing the most is Jungle. The one you see here, I love his little design. I forget his name, but it might like the Mummy one. I collect the Pharaoh one in this level as well. Um, there are just God, the cousins are my favorite part of Katamari. Obviously, I just love the cute little characters, and there are so many here that are awesome. Um, the levels, like I mentioned before, I love the variation in them. Um, and the story is weird. I definitely pretty early on was skipping text. It is better than before. In Beautiful Forever, Touch My, Me and My, in all those games, the story could not be there, and there would be zero difference. But in the first game and We Love, the story, not that okay. Let me change what I say. Not the story, the king specifically, and a lot of the characters. Just essentially how they interact, because there really isn't a story. It's, oh, the king destroyed the universe. All right, go roll it up and rebuild it. That's what it is. But the important part is it funny? Are the dialogue, like, are you, like, do you want to keep hearing the king yabber? And in this game, there was definitely a point where I was like, all right, I'm skipping some of this dialogue. But it makes up for it where each time you go to a new level or like a new area, you have these like cute little I don't know if I'd call them cutscenes, slideshows, little animations of the queen and the cousins sort of having these little shenanigans. And there were multiple times where I was just sitting there with a smile on my face, maybe even laughing, just having a good time. And I think it makes up for it in that area. This is all to say, I love this game. I'm sort of just going in circles here. The music is great. I want them to fucking release it, please. You can find it on YouTube. I have some of them in one of my playlists. But I love this game. Music is great. I think this will be... I hope it just sells well. Man, that's all I really want to ask for. I hope it at least sells enough to where they don't shelve this forever. I don't think they will. I think Katamari's in a pretty good spot. I think the remakes sold well enough, obviously, since we got this game. I'm sure they sold well enough, and I just hope that this game doesn't fly totally under the radar. There's been a lot of great games this year, especially around the time this came out in October, like Ninja Gaiden and stuff like that. So I'm sure it probably will go under the radar, but I'm just hoping Namco... I don't want to see a Klonoa situation, which I don't think we will, but those remakes did not sell well. And I am going to take a wild guess here and say we will probably never see another Klonoa game, unfortunately. And hopefully that's not the case here. I recommend this game to people, even if you don't like Katamari. This game is great. It's $40. You can find it on, like, CD Keys or something like that for, like, 30. I saw it at, like, a mom-and-pop shop near me for, like, 30 on PS5 physically. This game is amazing. And... like I said earlier, I think right now I have like 18 hours. I'm going to keep playing it to 100% this game. I might end up with like 30, which is fucking crazy. You can beat a Katamari game in a night. I think I beat the first... oh my god. I think I beat the first game in like 4 hours and the second game in like 5. I'm not going to 100% this game because 100% of Katamari games and getting a full collection makes me want to kill myself. But I at least want to go through and get all the crowns and the princes and stuff like that, and I'm having a great time. I recommend this game. It's cheap, it's good, it's a fun time. Don't listen to the people that say it's repetitive or that, you know, they want more. They don't know what they're talking about. This game's great, and I could not be more pleased with where we are with Katamari right now. Hopefully we'll see more in the future. That's all I can ask for.